Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's Sinach, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Good morning, good people out there in Radioland. How you doing? It's 8:30 Central European Time, 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2:30 p.m. for our friends in the Philippines and Hong Kong. How's it going, guys? It's Tuesday. We made it. Yeah, wow. What a show we have prepared for you today, my friends. Today I asked 100 humans to name an occupation where you are either loved or hated. Nombra una profesión que seas amado o u odiado. Did you get that, Nach? U odiado? Not o, like I would normally say.
Nivelazo.
Thank you. Translation elf. But I will take it. Incomplete the news. We'll find out why Michigan State, the university, had to apologize. Something during a football game. And if we have time, we'll find out what is breaking, or what has been found to break Newton's third law of motion. Natch, if you know what Newton's third law of motion is, you're gonna get a ProBoh approved.
No, I don't.
For every you'll know it when I say it. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. I don't ask me how to say that in Spanish. But you know what I mean. Yeah, we'll get there. It's surprising. I sound like clickbait. The answer will surprise you. All right, and then our unpopular opinion, a lot more nuanced than you may think. Today's unpopular opinion is paywalls. Paywalls are, I think he's saying muros de pago, right? Muros de pago en páginas webs.
I don't know.
Paywalls on news sites, on sitios de noticias, are a good thing. I just want to remind you, not all of these unpopular opinions that I share are mine. I am not that much of an asshole that everything I think is unpopular. But, yeah, that was today's unpopular opinion. Los muros de pago en los sitios de noticias son algo positivo. Paywalls on news sites are a good thing. But before that, friends, I'm here, you're here. Let's find out what's going on in the world. First of all, we go to our wonderful Oracle. How are you doing, dude?
I'm fine, thank you.
We're a day into the week. We've made it, friends. We've made it. Yeah, I was so productive yesterday, Natch. Like super hyper productive. I think it was because there was no lunchtime show. I just got to knuckle down. And how about you, sir? How are you doing? How's work treating you? People ask me, they say you don't speak to Natch enough at the beginning of the show. Well, one person has said that. We want to know how Natch is doing, bald man.
Nah, no much to tell.
Not much to tell. I nearly witnessed a fight on the metro this morning between two ladies. One of which, well, I think kind of racist. Kind of a race-fueled argument. It made me feel like I was back in England. Yeah. But other than that, nothing to report either. I was working on a script last night for my project with regards to politician GPT. More on that in the coming weeks. And little else, my friend. Little else. I napped and ate. Izzy made me some homemade food. And I ate homemade food last night. No frozen pizza, Natch. The frozen pizza industry in shock today. As I ate homemade lentils. All right, let's look at some news. Firstly, a follow-up on a previous story. Actually, let me turn my attention to the wonderful people in chat. We have Vero, Decoy, Born to Iron Man, Eugene, Jareon, Pedro. Did I say Vero already? Vero, you get mentioned twice, because I can't remember if I said your name or not. She says, good morning, beautiful warriors around the universe. Decoy says, good morning, Vietnam. The Bridge, good morning, wonderful people. Born to Iron Man, good morning, folks. Eugene, good morning. It's 1 degree in my place where I live, says Eugene. And we have the first snowfall of this autumn. Eugene joining us from Russia. Jeez, Spaniards would die if it was snowing in October. I mean, it rained the other day and, like, literally they were cancelling metros, the underground. This is water falling from the sky. We're so woefully unprepared for weather in Madrid. By the way, if you're an international listener, yes, we produce the show out of Madrid, the heart of Spain. Let's see. So, yeah, well, take care out there, Eugene. Be safe if you're driving. Jareum, good morning, Rob. Pedro from Instagram, good morning. Tercera ley de Newton. Vero's going to get a nivelazo in a second. Here we go. Tercera ley de Newton. Con toda acción ocurre siempre una reacción igual y contraria. Is that right?
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
I have a feeling, Vero, that was more for you than for me. Did I butcher the pronunciation, Natch?
No.
Oh, look at me. 20 years in Spain. One day, I'll get there. Decoy. Or, as my physics teacher would put it, donde las dan, las toman. ProBoh, proof, please, for Decoy.
ProBoh approved.
Also, Ronnie joining us in the chat. How are you doing, guys? All right, a little follow-up from one of our stories. I don't know if it was last week or yesterday. Remember, Natch, I told you that Netflix are planning to open brick-and-mortar locations. Locaciones or sitios físicos. Netflix, remember? And I mentioned, that didn't go very well for Blockbuster. And I told the story of how Blockbuster once had the opportunity to buy Netflix and they didn't. And a couple of years later, Blockbuster went bankrupt, or they went out of business. Well, Blockbuster, funnily enough, replied to that story from NPR.org, and they said, "Oh boy, should we tell Netflix how this ends? Deberíamos decirle a Netflix cómo termina eso?" Very good. I don't know who's working. I imagine the only person working at Blockbuster now is the community manager. But 10 points, sir. All right, let's get into some news. Some fascinating articles today. This one from The Economist, economist.com. Welcome to the age of the hermit consumer. Welcome to the age of the hermit consumer. Bienvenido a la era del consumidor ermitaño. Okay. The global economy is undergoing a significant shift, with consumers in wealthy nations changing their spending habits in a trend that could be long-lasting. This hermit consumer, consumidor ermitaño, phenomenon marked by a get hold of this, my friend, 600 billion annual decrease, $600 billion annual decrease in services spending emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic, when lockdowns and health concerns prompted people to stay at home, increasing their spending on goods over services, which is a bad news for our economy. I'll get into that in a second. Even as economies rebounded, this pattern persisted, with a notable reduction in expenditures on outdoor leisure activities, hospitality, and recreation, while spending on durable goods and home-related products surged. All right, Natch, do you feel like you spend as much on services and outdoor leisure activities and things like that as you did before the pandemic? I know I don't. Not at all.
No.
I don't, in fact, I get up when someone invites me to do anything outside my house, I get kind of upset. What are you talking about? Other than the Vaughan Radio Trivia Night, friends, which is on the 1st of November, 8:30. I'll be there. Are you going, Natch, by the way?
I don't know yet.
Oh, everyone turns up for Alberto's. Okay, anyway. So there we go, yeah. So interesting. And why is this a big deal for our economies, particularly in the West? I'll tell you why. Because we don't make anything. We don't make anything. We've outsourced all our production. Do you remember when Zara used to produce their clothes here in Spain? Well, now that doesn't happen anymore, famously. We're not a producer economy. We're a service economy now. And that's not just here in Spain. That's all over Europe. Many sectors in Europe. In the US, we produce less and we consume a lot more services. So this could be bad news for our economy. Several factors, let's continue. Several factors contribute to this enduring change. Ongoing health fears, a shift towards remote work, and possibly a fundamental change in personal values, leading individuals to prefer solitary activities and home-based leisure. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can see this in my own life, in my own pattern of thinking. I've always, in some regard, been a hermit. Un ermitaño. I've always, in some regard, been a bit of a hermit. I like my own company. I like to stay at home, research, write, paint, draw. That's my thing. But I was a lot more social prior to the pandemic. And I think those of us that were very social prior to the pandemic have kind of learnt through the pandemic, through the lockdowns, that, hey, spending time at home isn't actually that bad. It's actually quite great. Yeah, interesting stuff. That coming from The Economist. It's a fascinating article. I do encourage you to read it. Next, in the world of science, where the Venn diagram of my obsession with superheroes and my obsession with science collide. Here we go. An Iron Man inspired material made from DNA and glass is 5 times stronger than steel and 4 times lighter. This is a brilliant article by zmescience.com. I did see this being reported by other outlets, by the way, just in case you're thinking, it's fake news. Un material inspirado en Iron Man. Do you call him Iron Man in Spain?
Yes.
Okay. Un material inspirado en Iron Man hecho de ADN y vidrio es 5 veces más resistente que el acero y 4 veces más ligero. Scientists have developed a groundbreaking material by fusing DNA with pure glass, creating a substance that is significantly lighter and stronger than steel. This innovation, inspired by Iron Man's suit, is a product of meticulous research by teams from the University of Connecticut, Columbia University, and Brookhaven National Lab. The material's strength comes from its flawless, microscopic glass structure supported by DNA scaffold, offering remarkable density and robustness. It kind of worries me in this article. They say, it has so many applications, like armor. I don't know. Can we maybe think about aeroplanes first, then trains and vehicles, then weapons or armor? I don't know. Just saying. We're all out here. Or maybe make a phone cover or a phone screen that doesn't smash when you sneeze on it. Do you know what annoys me? No one talks about, Natch. Like the industry, the cottage industry of fabricating mobile phone cases. Like in no other industry do you create a product where you need to buy another product so it doesn't break. Isn't that a flaw of mobile phones? You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever. I'm going on a run. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. A lot of love for Ronnie and Vero. Vaya has a different meaning. It's a fence. Says, did I say vaya? Vaya. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Final news story of the day. Talking again, going back to the idea of AI, robotics, and the displacement in the labour market. Something that our governments are still not doing anything about. Just saying. Politician GPT. If you didn't hear that episode, go back and listen to it. I make a pretty good case for why we should be replacing politicians. Okay, so here we go. What does Amazon's new robot workforce mean for its human staff? What does Amazon's new robot workforce mean for its staff? This is a new story coming from The Independent. ¿Qué significa la nueva plantilla de robots de Amazon para su personal humano? Amazon has introduced advanced robots and drones to enhance its delivery processes, sparking discussions about the future of human jobs within the company. Ty Brady, the chief of Amazon's robotics division, reassures that these technological advancements, including the humanoid robot Digit, capable of transporting boxes, are designed to transform jobs, not eliminate them. Yeah, right? Natch, do you believe that for a second? That's the wolves saying, no, we just like to hang around the sheep because they're so much fun. Yeah. The company emphasizes that the human workforce remains integral, despite the robot's introduction, which is part of Amazon's significant strides in innovation in their Seattle headquarters. Yeah. They just, you know what Amazon are going to do, Natch? They're just going to keep all their human employees employed because they care about people. You know, this company that laid off like 4,000 people recently, or was it 10,000? I can't remember. You know, we've already seen that they've made significant layoffs. I mean, you know, one of the biggest pieces of gaslighting by the modern media is this phrase, friends. This phrase. Get ready. Strap yourselves in. Put your ponte los cinturones. Right? Here we go. AI is a great tool, but it's not going to replace us. How many times have you heard that in modern media? It's a great tool, but it's not going to replace us. Yes, it is. Don't be gaslit, friends. Let's start to demand from the people in power some action on this. And when I mean action, I don't mean that governments need to start taxing robots, because the only people that protects are the people who work in government. You know, right? Because the taxes go to them. What are they actually doing for us, the humans? You know, the people who vote for them. You know, what's next? Food stamps? What are you going to do, government? You know, are you planning anything like a universal basic income? Are you planning anything that you can let us know about? Anything for you know, for the working people who are going to be displaced? Oof, I'm on fire today, Natch. On that note, let's go to the unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Ronnie says, I'm afraid of IA, of Inteligencia Artificial. Let me tell you something, Ronnie, nothing to be afraid of. I'm a big fan of AI. In fact, one of the nicest compliments I've had about the show, back last year, really, when no one was really talking about it, I tried to spread as much knowledge on the subject as possible. One of the nicest things people said to me is, most of the things I know about AI are things that I found out listening to you. And I just think that's an amazing compliment. Sadly, there's not much more to say on the topic, because all it is getting better, but the fundamentals are the same. But what you should be worried about is why our leaders aren't doing anything to protect our jobs, or why our leaders aren't necessarily planning for the future. Well, they are planning for their own future. Let's tax the robots. Well, okay, that keeps government working. But what about the people that, you know, vote you in power? How about paying some attention to them? All right, today's unpopular opinion, today's brain fart, today's pedocerebral, today's penomental is paywalls on news sites are a good thing. Los muros de pago en los sitios de noticias son algo positivo. Let's see. All right, I thoroughly tortured the ProBoh Show elves this morning, and they gave me some pros and cons. So let's get into those right now. In the pro column, in favor of paywalls on news sites. Paywalls can provide essential revenue for news outlets, allowing them to fund high-quality journalism, in-depth reporting, especially investigative journalism. It requires source and time, and paywalls ensure fair compensation for this work. As print circulations decline and free online content proliferates, traditional revenue streams like advertising are often insufficient for funding, or for funding journalism, let's say. Paywalls can create sustainable business model, ensuring that journalism can continue to function and adapt to the digital age. Next, reduces clickbait. Free-to-access news sites may rely heavily on sensationalist headlines and clickbait to attract views for advertising revenue. Paywalls can incentivize content quality over headline appeal, focusing on subscriber satisfaction over clicks. Let me break it down for you, friends. Okay, when we rely on news sources that then rely on, let's say, funding from a government, like the BBC, or funding from advertisers like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, They have interests outside of news reporting, right? It's worrying. Let's continue. Reader investment. Paying for news can make readers more engaged and discerning in their consumption. It can foster a sense of investment in the news outlet and its content, potentially leading to more informed public. All right, so those are the pros, los pros. Let's get into the contrasts. Why this might not be as positive a development as we may think. In the con column, paywalls can limit the public's access to information, particularly for lower income individuals who cannot afford multiple subscriptions. True story, right? But, you know, I suppose on the flip side, are you subscribing to Netflix? Are you subscribing to Disney, HBO? Would it really, you know, paying €1 a year for the Wall Street Journal, would it really kill you? Next, public distrust. There can be a perception that news behind a paywall might cater to the interests of the paying subscribers, potentially biasing the information. My argument here is, isn't information already kind of biased? You know, if Fox News have Pfizer as an advertiser, are they really gonna report on the dangers of the new Pfizer medication? Interesting. See how this topic is a lot more nuanced than you might have thought? Next, impact on traffic. Paywalls may lead to a significant drop in a website's traffic, making it harder for the news outlet to reach a broader audience. And finally, in the con column, with the abundance of free news and misinformation available, paywalls might drive some readers to less reputable sources. This shift can contribute to the spread of false information, as not everyone would be able to discern the quality of the sources they are reading. Okay, most of us are aware of the recent shift to alternative funding of the news. I think recently The Guardian went behind a paywall. Guardian being a centre-left news publication, but generally tends to be a quite reliable source of information. The New York Times, the Washington Post. I mean, basically where you can go for accurate, good journalism is behind a paywall. They'll let you access maybe 2 or 3 posts, and then you have to pay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? What are your thoughts on this, Natch? What do you think?
I don't want to read any news, so I won't pay for anything.
Yeah, but more of a, okay, it's possible that you don't subscribe to anything, and I'm imagining most of the people out there listening to this show don't either, right? They don't feel like they have a horse in the race. However, we have all been subject to the sharing of what is falsified information, biased information. Yesterday we reported on a post about a high school allowing people to graduate even if they couldn't read, write, or do mathematics properly. And it was clickbait. It was false information that was posed by the truth from what I would consider a disreputable source, the Washington Examiner. Now, when that kind of proliferation of fake, falsified news gets to your average Joe, that's when we get into the realms of dangerous misinformation, indoctrination into certain beliefs, because we believe what we think is the truth because we read it online. But is that saying, because that is happening, should these news sources be free? Because surely they have to pay their journalists. I mean, I subscribe to a few news outlets so I can bring news, accurate news to this show. So it's interesting, a more interesting topic than you might think. Let's just take a quick look in the chat. The Bridge says, politicians don't planter, they only follow around. I have no idea what Bridge is saying there. Sorry, Bridge. False. Internet press users should have unlimited access to the various media sites as long as they can afford it. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you can as long as you pay for it. I mean, were you the kind of person who bought a newspaper every day? It's just the same thing. And I think the price is often worth the reporting. Okay? What are you gonna do, friends? You're gonna believe what you see on Facebook? Are you actually gonna access real journalism? It's a fascinating, nuanced topic, and we'll get back to it when we come back from the break. Right now, I want to know your opinion in the chat. Are paywalls on news sites a good thing? Is that a true or a false statement? Friends, so many things you could have been doing this morning. Instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. I'll see you soon. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. You're listening to the ProBoh Show live at 9 a.m. Central European Time, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 3 p.m. for our friends in New York and the Philippines. A very special good morning to my podcast downloaders. You know who you are, and thank you. And guys, for those of you who have written reviews and given me 5 stars in all the platforms, you're amazing. Did you know how sexy you are? So sexy. All right, what a show, guys. We've spoken about all sorts. If you're just tuning in, we did a little follow-up on the Netflix building physical locations. Blockbuster's reaction was quite funny. Oh boy, should we tell Netflix how this ends? Deberíamos decirle a Netflix cómo termina eso. Then we looked at the concept of the hermit consumer as told to us by The Economist. Fascinating. How our mindset has not changed post the or after the coronavirus, the COVID-19 pandemic, where lockdowns forced us to stay in our homes. Then we looked at a fascinating new material made from DNA and glass that is said to be 5 times stronger than steel and 4 times lighter. And then we finished off with the news from The Independent, or the question posed by The Independent, which was, what does Amazon's new robot workforce mean for its human staff? Ty Brady, the chief of Amazon's robotics division, says, no, nothing. Yeah, right. Like you're going to keep humans employed? Right, whatever. Told you, guys, robotics, roboticists, AI developers, please. Politician GPT. We need it now. All right. Then we went into today's unpopular opinion. Okay, so the vote has finished. The vote has finished here in the chat. But first I want to tell you what they said on Instagram. So as always, I post the topic on Instagram. You guys vote. But the real decision makers are the live audience. The Bridge, Eugene, Pedro, Vero, all you guys joining us in the chat. Yeah, there are a lot of you today, so welcome. If you want to join the amazing live audience, you can do that at twitch.tv/professional bohemian. So on Instagram, they said 62% false. And they said, no, it's not a good thing. And let me be honest with you, I'm inclined to agree. But I can see, Pedro actually says this. Let me read Pedro's comment because he puts it quite succinctly. He says, I think there is value to having access to reliable news sites. Agreed, right? Most of us, I would think, would agree with that. But I don't see any other way to keep the sustainability of this business other than via paywalls. And again, I agree. It's a weird dichotomy in modern news that we have started. Consumerism has gotten to the point where we have commodified the truth. We have turned the truth into a commodity. If you want more reliable, better quality truth, you have to pay for it. Is there something wrong with a world where the truth has a financial price tag? I think there might be, friends. Because one thing's for sure, we need to be well informed. In any democracy, the electorate needs to be well informed. So, is the truth access to honest journalism? Is that an inalienable human right? And should we be rethinking the way we currently treat journalists, journalism, and news sites? Maybe we should. Interesting, a fascinating topic. Let's continue. All right, let's see. Eugene says, in Russia, we need to support independent media, even if they are in other countries. True story, Eugene. Eugene joining us from Russia, where it's currently snowing. Stay safe out there, Eugene. The Bridge says, Rob dancing around. Yeah, I dance around through the break. You know, I quite often keep my clothes on, too. Yes, Rob, it's like paying taxes. Yeah, but should maybe the government have? Should we have more protections over reliable sources of journalism? Should it be included in our taxes? There is, we definitely need to rework the system, because what's for sure is people need to be well informed, and the amount of clickbait. I mean, it's a symptom of the system, really. People posting salacious headlines to engage more people to click through to the site. But no one's reading the articles. It's sad. What happened to the days where we'd buy a newspaper and pick through each and everything? Well, print media is dying, folks. So we need to evolve. It's not like paying for news is a new thing. Maybe not you, but your father, your mother, your grandfather, your grandmother used to buy a newspaper. I used to buy a newspaper. Back when I was in England, I'd pick up a newspaper every day, and then when I was in the canteen at work, I would read my newspaper. I mean, it's not a new concept, paying for news. So is it really that much of a bad thing? Anyway, I did get some messages from people on Instagram, so let's dig into those now. Mia writing to us again. She says, I don't support these paywalls. Honestly, the news should be accessible to everyone, It's about keeping people informed, not just those who can afford it. Yeah, true story. Derek, from a business standpoint, paywalls make sense. Quality journalism costs money. How are these outlets supposed to pay their staff if everything's free? True story as well. Clara, I understand the need for financial support for publishers, but paywalls can be a significant barrier to knowledge. And Ronnie finally says, man, I hate these things. Journalists have to, but I get it. Journalists have to eat too. The internet was meant to be open. It's like putting a price tag on journalism, or on honest journalism. Sorry, I'm paraphrasing there. It was a long message. Yeah, it's a fascinating subject because there is no clear outcome of this, in my mind, in my view. Because quality journalism does cost money. What doesn't cost money is to often outright lie, post a salacious, a controversial headline, and then tell half truths. That doesn't cost much money, folks. I mean, I used to work for one of New York's biggest lifestyle blogs as a writer, or as editor-in-chief. And we used to, basically, our bread and butter was creating clickbaity news articles. Let me tell you something. It was fast, and it was cheap. What's not fast and cheap is investigative journalism of real quality. And let's be clear, like, paying for the news is not a new concept. But what is a new concept, or what seems to be a new concept, is the competition quality journalism has nowadays with clickbait nonsense journalism just meant to stoke outrage. That is the real issue here. So why is it even a thing? Why does clickbait even exist? Well, if you want my opinion, again, as Grandpa Bo used to say, opinions, friends, they're like buttholes. Everybody has one, they all stink, and that includes mine. But in my opinion, clickbait exists, or it became a thing, really, with the advent of the social media algorithms, of pay-to-play publishing. So what happened, or what is happening? Well, a lot of websites, their primary source of funding was through advertising. Advertising works in part from CPI, cost per impression. Okay, so if you have enough adverts on a website and enough people watch it or look at that website, click through to it, then you're going to make a certain amount of money. So the more salacious, the more what's the word I'm looking for? Enticing that headline, the more likely you are to click through and then generate income for those publishers. They don't care about the truth. All they care about is generating the income required to fund their business. That is not the point of journalism. Journalism's point, the reason it's there, a free press, the reason it's there is to tell people the truth, to inform people, and especially in a democracy that requires an informed electorate. So we have this weird dichotomy in society. Now, let's get something straight. Crap news has existed forever. We all see those magazines in supermarkets, right? I was abducted by aliens. But it seems to be that now this fringe news journalism has become the norm. You look on Facebook and there is just a ton of things there ready to annoy, enrage you. List of the top 10 reasons UFOs exist. Number 6 will surprise you. I mean, it's not doing anything for us. It's intellectual chewing gum. Let's see what people are saying. By the way, this is from Pedro. Journalists are amongst the worst paying jobs in Spain nowadays. People don't see the value in paying for news anymore. They cannot distinguish news from a tweet or a Facebook post. Can we get a ProBoh approved for Pedro?
ProBoh approved.
The Bridge says, I never bought the paper before, but I read it every day having a coffee at the bar. Now I get my news every day listening to the ProBoh Show, lying in bed and having breakfast at home. Oh, ProBoh approved for the Bridge. Oh.
ProBoh approved.
Yeah, killing it. Yeah. This is a problem, friends. This is a big problem. Is there another way of funding real journalism other than a paywall? Can we get real quality news, real quality journalism into the hands of the most people possible? How do we do that? It's a problem. It's a problem worth thinking about. Because we cannot continue in a democracy where people are force-fed propaganda that only subscribes to one political point of view. The news is supposed to be a dry reading of the facts, not editorial content, not clickbait designed only to enrage you or titillate you. That is not what news is. How do we trust the electorate to make good decisions when they're poorly informed? It's hard to inform people when the most quality or the highest quality news outlets live behind a paywall. So there's a lot of nuance in this argument, and it is a very important issue. Let's go to how our live audience voted. So I made the statement, paywalls on news sites are a good thing. You guys said 60% false. Let's be clear, they're not a good thing, are they? How do you get news and quality journalism into the hands of the most people possible when it's behind a paywall? Yeah, it's almost impossible. I mean, I subscribe to a lot of those platforms. They they tend to be quite cheap. Because I know most people don't. And I like to bring good news to the show. It's a problem to be solved, guys. Because one thing's for sure, when it comes time to put your X on that piece of paper or nowadays on that digital screen, you need to be informed of the pros and cons and what's happening in the world in a way where you can make informed decisions, not where you are told what to think. Are paywalls a good thing? No, they're not. But sadly, friends, the way I see it, there is no better alternative. All right, friends. On that note, let's go to 100 Humans. Oh my God, my friends. It was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys. And on that walk, I encountered 100 humans and I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name an occupation where you are either loved or hated. I was surprised to find that radio announcer isn't there, Natch. Because in my experience, the kind of content that I produce, it's one of the two. So name an occupation where you are either loved or hated. Nombra una profesión que seas amado u odiado. All right. I asked them that question. They gave me their answers. I have the top 7 answers right here. Your job in the chat is to identify those top 7 answers. Just to wrap up that last segment, Vero says, as I see it, the only way to find quality news is by listening to the radio, although all of them follow their own editorial line. Yeah, true story. True story. So hard to find news nowadays. If you want my advice, you've got to read it from several perspectives. Use Snopes. I know a lot of people are kind of anti-Snopes nowadays to see if what you're reading is true or not. Yeah, it shouldn't be that much work. Anyway, let's see. What do you think, Natch? As always, we go to the Oracle. What do you think?
Police officer?
A police officer. A police officer. Does anyone agree? Yeah, Eugene agrees. A police officer. Name an occupation where you are either loved or hated. Police officer, is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. Woo. Would you say agente de policía? You would. Okay, nice. All right, let's go to the chat. Vero says a teacher. Oof, good answer. I hated my teachers in school because I really didn't understand what... I got kicked out of school at 16. Then I got kicked out of college. Yeah, behavioural problems. I didn't start to love my teachers until I lied my way into university, and it all started there. All right, is teacher there? Yes, it is. Well done. You know, kids don't understand how lucky they are to have people who just want to share knowledge with them. As an adult, I would, it's just one of the, it's one of the, I think, least appreciated professions. One of the professions that should be much more appreciated. Anyway, let's continue. Footballer. Woo. A footballer says born to Iron Man. Footballer. By the way, Bridge said teacher, so well done there, as well as Vero. A footballer. Is a footballer there? I'm going to give it to you. Well done, BTI. Footballer isn't there, but athlete is. 21 of 100 humans said footballer or athlete. It's in second place. Well done. All right. Decoy says actor. Actor. Is an actor there? You're on fire, guys. Actor is there. Wow. You guys haven't had a single incorrect answer yet. Well done. I'm not sure if this has ever happened before. Can you run the whole gambit? Can you get everything without getting an incorrect answer? Let's see. A referee. Oh, wow. Yeah, a referee, says Ronnie. In a sports game, a referee. Is it there? No, it's not. Oh. Great answer, though. A great answer. A singer, says Eugene. A singer. Cantante. Singer. Is it there? No, it's not. Oh. Born to Iron Man. President of the United States of America, he says. POTUS. Pedro says a politician as well. Is politician there? Yes, it is. Well done. You've only got one more to get, guys. Only one more to get. Mayor. I guess a mayor could be a politician as well, right? Priest, says Vero. Priest. Is priest there? No, it's not. Ooh. Thank you, Pedro. Okay, Pedro has said, yeah, thank you, because I don't always catch the ones that you write. Pedro has said a lawyer. A lawyer. Un abogado. Is a lawyer there? A profession or an occupation where you were either loved or hated? A lawyer. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. Pedro, I'm sad to say, because Pedro, I think, is a lawyer. I'm sad to say it's the number one answer. 23 of 100 humans said lawyer. Number one answer. There's just one more to go. Very closely related to lawyer. Not so much about the defending or the prosecuting, more about the decision making. Who am I talking about? Very closely related to lawyer. Do you know what I'm talking about, Natch?
Judge.
A judge. There it is. Well done, friends. That was the 7th most popular answer. 4 of 100 humans said judge. All right, judge said decoy. Well done. We also had doctor in the chat, mayor, priest. We had a lot of answers. Well done, guys. All right, let's go through the list. I asked 100 humans to name a profession where you're either loved or hated. Nombra un profesión que seas amado u odiado. In position number 7, we had judge with 4 of 100 humans saying that. In position number 6, we had police officer, agente de policía. So we had juez, agente de policía with 7 of 100 humans, 6th place. In position number 5, we had politician, politico. How is that not the number one answer? No idea. In position number 4, with 13 of 100 humans, we have teacher, professor. In position number 3, we have actor, un actor. Actor, 16 of 100 humans said that one. In position number 2, an athlete, deportista. An athlete, with 21 of 100 humans said that. And finally, in position number 1, we had a lawyer, abogado. Well done to Pedro. Wow. All right, on that note, friends, let's go to today's Complete the News.
Complete the news!
All right, my friends, this is Complete the News. I will give you a real news headline, but I will leave out some important information. Using the 3 options I give you, you will complete the news. So here we go. Here's the headline. We don't have time to do the Newton's third law. We'll do that tomorrow. So here we go. Here's the headline that we will do. Michigan State University apologizes for displaying a picture of blank on the video board before a football game. Michigan State se disculpa por mostrar una foto de blank en la pantalla antes de un partido de fútbol americano. But who was it of? Was it A, Adolf Hitler? Was it B, Osama bin Laden? Or was it C, Jeffrey Epstein? Yeah, there are no good answers in this one. They're all a rogues gallery. Michigan State apologizes for displaying a picture of blank on the video board before a football game. Was it A, Adolf Hitler, B, Osama bin Laden, or C, Jeffrey Epstein? Why did they apologize? For showing a picture of who? Who do you think it was, Natch?
Bin Laden?
I think bin Laden, B. Okay, a lot of people in the chat. I see a C there by Eugene thinking it was Jeffrey Epstein. Most people here seem to be saying in the live audience A. Yeah, there are no good answers here. A rogues gallery. Okay. So A. Most people are saying Hitler. All right. Let's do it. Michigan State University apologizes for displaying a picture of... The answer was indeed A. Adolf Hitler. This piece of news coming from CNN, true story. Michigan State University faced controversy after inadvertently displaying a picture of Adolf Hitler during a trivia quiz on the video board at a football game. The image appeared with a question about Hitler's birthplace, sparking immediate backlash. The university apologized, acknowledging the content was inappropriate and not reflective of their values. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, Natch, but it was a trivia question, right? I mean, I don't know, man. It doesn't sound to me like they did anything kind of... It's not like they were saying, yay, look how cool this guy is. It was a question about his birthplace. So yeah, you make your own minds up on that. Natch and I only have our opinions, and as we've said before, opinions, they're like buttholes. Everyone has one, they all stink, and that can be Natch's and ours and mine. Oh my God, friends, thank you so much for participating in the best part of my day every single day. There are so many things you could have been doing this morning, an infinite number of things, but instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me and the Natch, and it means the absolute world. Friends, I'll be back this afternoon with the lunchtime show at 1:30 Central European Time, and back again tomorrow with more ProBoh Show madness with the Natch. Thank you for listening, and see you tomorrow.